Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Hearthstone Global Games. We're going to just about start match number 5 of the day, which means it's the last one of the day, so don't go anywhere. It's going to be Belarus versus Croatia, and with me again is Dalcone.
Sure, I'll take it. Do you know what? It's closer to what my name actually is than what most people say.
Good.
So
we're getting there. We're learning. Okay, so this match on face value might not be like a blockbuster match, but for those playing it is. And it's also in Group H, which is this weird group where Ukraine and Czech Republic are running away with it, which means that third spot is going to go to a team possibly even on 2 and 3 as we look at the table there.
So I think that this is going to be the first game where we have the chance to properly, fully eliminate someone from the competition.
Yeah, I mean, Croatia needs to win 3-0 twice, pretty much. Maybe they can afford a 3-1. But yeah, if Croatia lose, they are gone.
Scary.
And if Belarus win, I mean, you can see the position they would be in. They'd be a game ahead of everybody else and still 2 games to play. And they would be in a very, very powerful situation. But if Croatia win, anybody out of those 4 teams on 1 win would be in a good spot. And it would be pretty much ridiculous set of tiebreakers possibly required.
Yeah, it looks like this group really is just one of those battle for third places. We've said the same thing about the group that we just had with the United Kingdom and Thailand, and it's a similar thing here. It's not one of those games where there's 3 above and 3 below. There's going to be a real battle for third place, and it could go one of multiple different ways at the moment.
Yeah, Germany will be praying that Croatia can get this one done and bring Germany back into it, but Germany's still looking like they're in a tough spot. Again, Belarus are the team with the it's all in their own hands at this moment. As we see the lineups there, Croatia's lineup: Insane, Lavek, Travnoboy, BBB, and Kamikaze.
Yeah, so on Belarus' side, it's Tvist, Fuzmushko, No Name, and Kartosheshka. I'm so bad at saying names. I'm really going to offend someone. Yeah, it's because whoever sat to my right always takes the easier side.
Bob,
first.
Billy, etc. You get all the names from countries that we're not so used to talking about. Yeah.
I got the chance to speak to Tvist a little bit last week, and I passed that information on to Sottle and Raven, who did a great job at passing it on to the cast. But once again, I'm going to say a little bit about Belarus as we go through the series, because they're not one of the more known teams at all. But they've all got little stories to tell.
Yeah, and Croatia, Insane has played on HCT. He didn't do too great, but just getting on the HCT event means you're in the top 128 in the region, and he did win a game in that as well sometime last year. He's just a Blizzard fanboy, really, and he has met some of this team before, and he enjoys the team aspect of it. So Insane, definitely a player helping to keep Croatia together, and he is their anchor.
Yeah. Who would you have to give the favour to for this?
I think you've got to go with Belarus. First of all, they haven't lost 3 games in a row. It's always a good start.
Yeah.
But secondly, I think they've got a lot of players right on the edge of Hearthstone Championship Tour regularly. Tvist himself, that you referred to, did make the top 8 but couldn't go to the event. And then No Name was 1 point from making it this time around. So these guys are right on the edge of the Championship Tour, whereas Croatia, for the large part, just a little tiny bit behind that, I think.
So Tvist's description of Fuzmushko was, he's young and he likes Smork decks.
Who doesn't like Smork decks when they're young?
Especially Pirate Warrior. Now he's bringing Warrior with him today, so I wonder if that is an indication of what we're going to get.
That would be interesting, actually. Yeah, see if he does that. Or see if it's just a little bit of double bluff. These guys know we're going to read this stuff out. And I wouldn't put it past somebody one day to tell us a load of just garbage for us to read out and then just come with the exact opposite the next week.
In fact, I'm pretty sure, as I said, Sottle and Raven read out this stuff last week, and
there you go.
It's possible that Insane was listening.
But, he probably does like his Smork, and he probably will go with Pirate Warrior or Aggro Paladin. They're both good decks anyway, so nothing wrong with that. And obviously, when there's a whole team playing, you don't have to assign the Smork deck to the Smork player. It doesn't have to work like that. Something that the USA have done really, really well throughout this event is just go, okay, everybody knows Dog is going to play this deck. Oh, here's some Pirates.
Yeah.
And so on.
Something that George C. maybe has not done so well is played Freeze Mage every time.
Oh, he's played it well, but
yeah, he's played it well, but not tricked anyone.
Just not managed to fool anybody. Although everybody started to second guess, maybe he should, and so on and so on. The second guessing goes.
So it's going to be the Warrior versus the Hunter. We might have a very quick game to start off the day here if it does end up being Pirate Warrior versus Hunter.
Another Hunter match.
We've seen a lot of Hunter today. We've seen more Hunter than Shaman, I think.
Yeah, turning down. This is interesting to me because they've turned down the option to play Paladin, which means they think it's Pirates.
Right.
For me, at least. And which means that this Hunter deck might well be a very, very aggressive Hunter deck. And if the Warrior deck is Pirates, it'll be very interesting to see how this goes.
The Hunters tend to run Galacticrawler
Right.
quite frequently as well, which boosts the matchup dramatically against Hunter. Though we saw earlier, Green Sheep's Galacticrawler wasn't quite good enough to come back on the matchup. Here we see Insane and Fizmishko.
Yeah, and I think in this format, because you know you've got your Paladin deck, you can tech out your Hunter deck as much as you like because you don't have to play it.
Yeah.
And if it just runs into a matchup you like, then you can play your teched out deck. So I would expect to see a lot of tech cards in this Hunter deck for that reason.
Fizmishko, again, young, impulsive is a word Fizz used to describe him. Though apparently a very good Hearthstone player when he concentrates. And luckily for him in the Hearthstone Global Games, he has 3 teammates behind him to make sure that he definitely concentrates.
Yeah, and they seem to have all got together as well to play in the same room. Always like to see that when it's possible. Obviously, in some of the countries, it just isn't possible. Or if one of the players lives in a remote location or just can't make it that day or whatever. But I do like to see these teams getting together, really putting it together, helping their communication, giving themselves every chance to get through.
Yeah, it really does add an extra factor. I know we talk about this a lot, but it really does. Being able to pat each other on the back and you know, shake hands.
Boom.
And here we go. It's actually not going to be the Pirate Warrior, so the old bait and switch once again.
Yeah, and obviously as the Hunter now, they're going to be so sad when they see this. And it's very, very unlikely this Hunter is particularly good against Warrior, because this has been built almost certainly to beat Pirates.
Yep, then again, historically, mid-range Hunter has always been fine against more controlly Warriors. Cards like Savannah Hyman help with that. The problem is with the Quest Warrior is that they have a lot of taunts to get in the way and prevent the damage, and then a pretty brutal hero power when that quest is complete.
And the other thing is that the decks that did well against Warrior often went a little bit past the high main with a Swamp King Dread or Call of the Wild when it cost 8 in particular.
Yeah.
Those type of cards. And now at the very biggest, Dr. Boom.
That's a card.
No, it's not. Okay, it will be soon. And if you don't top deck out, if you top out at 6 against this particular Warrior build, you really struggle to get through because the high mains can be dealt with over time, and you tend not to get enough damage through. Again, you can still win. You can just get the flying start, and especially if you can pick up that Scavenging Hyena with your alley cat.
Yeah, the flying start is very, very relevant whenever it comes to Hunter. And actually, this does seem like a pretty solid opening hand here. Insane has a few tough choices to make. He can go ahead and play Alley Cat, maybe with Jeweled Macaw. He could coin out Kindly Grandmother, set up for a Crackling Razormaw next turn. There is a lot of options. What would you do, Neil?
I think I'd play the Macaw and see where I stand. That way I can work out plan my curve a lot better over the coming turns, because there are some some difficult decisions coming up in the future turns. I would play the Alley Cat as well and just get going. But they now know it is Quest, of course, so they'd have to be scared of whirlwind effects.
I do like the Alley Cat, I think. Like, not using the coin wasn't that important. Maybe later he can coin out a Savannah High main a turn early.
Yeah, or Houndmaster even.
And this is, exactly. And this is fine. Like, 1 into Grandmother, into Crackling Razormaw, or even straight into Razormaw. It depends whether he would rather buff up his Grandmother or buff up a 1/1.
Yeah, that's what they're going to go with. And difficult here for Belarus because everything costing 3, they're going to have to prioritize, and it's going to slow them down. They're going to waste mana on turn 4, and they probably waste some more on turn 5, unless they manage to do something with this Battle Rage. And so, though it looks like a good hand, they've got things they can do every turn. They're going to be wasting mana, and the Hunter is not going to be wasting mana, and that's really important.
Any Grandmother? Yeah. I mean, that's another... When you're playing these decks that curve out, wasting mana is actually a reason that you can just lose.
Yeah.
Fizmishko can go ahead and play the Stonehill Defender this turn, or the Ravaging Ghoul, obviously.
Yeah.
Ravaging Ghoul actually seems very strong.
It really looks like a good clear, obviously. The only consideration they might be going through is the Stonehill Defender, just because it might tidy up their curve, and it holds off what they can see. But I imagine we'll see the clear with the Ravaging Ghoul.
Just seems so strong. They've still got Primordial Drake for later, maybe with a sleep with the fishes that they could pick up. Ravaging Ghoul plus weaponing down the Grandmother means that Belarus hold on to one charge of the Fiery War Axe. They've got the board, and they've demolished Croatia's fast start.
Yeah, and obviously they're scared of Coin Houndmaster, and rightly so, because there it is.
There it is.
But yeah, they would have been scared of that. Otherwise, they may have been tempted to play the Defender. That's probably what took a little bit of discussion. And then somebody will go, oh, Houndmaster. Go, oh yeah, let's kill all the beasts. End of that discussion.
That is definitely an interesting beast.
2-2 for 2.
Not necessarily one that they want, though. Crackling Razormaw plus health seems good. So does stealth, actually. Both methods of guaranteeing that the Houndmaster goes off next turn. Health would put it at 4, which means it would take both minions to trade into it to get rid of it.
I think that's better than stealth because there might be another Ravaging Ghoul or similar.
And Houndmaster makes this a 3/6 with Taunt.
That'd be a nice minion.
It would be.
Okay, Armorsmith now for Belarus, giving them even more options. Obviously, you don't need to gain much armor. What we were going through earlier is that the Hunter does run out of steam, and a little bit of armor can just be so important if they can weave that in there. I imagine we'll see a mana wasted this turn, and either the Creeper or the Stonehill played. And then turn 5, they won't waste any mana. They'll play the Tar Creeper, stick an Armorsmith behind, and hope that that's enough. Whatever trades they're going to do is difficult, though. They don't want to leave up that 1/4 Macaw.
1/4 Macaw.
Sounds like some really bad game show or police show.
1/4 Macaw, yeah. No, you're right. These trades are horrible. Tar Creeper just going to come down and attempt to block off the damage there. Do what taunts do best.
Yeah.
And actually, the Macaw's only going to be a 3/3 now, even with the Houndmaster. I wonder if now it's going to be Kill Command, coin out Clutch Mother instead.
I think it'll be Kill Command, do nothing, coin out High Main, is my guess. That way you get your Houndmaster on turn 6, and maybe even get the Clutch Mother down behind the Houndmaster on turn 6. Either, depending on what happens with the High Main, you can either buff the Clutch Mother, turn it to a real minion, or you'll have something left over from the High Main, and it'll give you some options. This 3/5 is just going to be a nuisance to get through otherwise. Of course, the way that I say that means that you just give up the Macaw.
Interesting. It's actually not going to go with that play. Just going to taunt up the Macaw and hold on to it. Guess there's no reason to start trading into that Tar Creeper when it's not doing anything. Now it's up to Ravaging Ghoul to make the trade here.
It is. It does mean that sticking a beast will be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But this seems fine.
Very soon, though, the Warrior is going to start playing cards like that Primordial Drake that we can see there. And that's when this sort of play from the Hunter's not going to work anymore. I wonder if he's going to be able to get something very sneaky done later with, including maybe Tundra Rhino and Scavenging Hyena in some way.
This Battle Rage is also so tempting here. Just play a Stonehill Defender, maybe even injure your own Tar Creeper, and then Battle Rage for 3 more cards. Must be a consideration. They may not be in any hurry. They may just decide to play Armorsmith and Stonehill, or even just play the Hero Power and the Stonehill. The Stonehill seems to be the crux of the turn, though. It's the only odd casting card in the hand. They just decided the 2 cards is plenty here.
Ah, there's the quest.
Yeah, picking up the quest. Really nice when that happens for you. You want the quest early, but you don't want it in your opener, so this works quite nicely.
Actually, yeah, I'd say this is very well timed from Fuzmushko, because now, if it was in the bottom of the deck, then it was never going to get completed, obviously. But playing it now on turn 5, it might be just in the nick of time where the quest could become relevant in this game.
Yeah, in general it doesn't, but yeah, it might. In this game, if they do get to the quest as well, then that would just be the extra push they need to maybe stop any strangeness with a second High Main or a Dread or something that's sort of almost certainly not in here, but could be. Interesting that this is at least High Main high, though, and we haven't seen any crabs as of yet.
So, Clutch Mother Kill Command trade is I think that's the obvious play.
Right.
I don't know if it's the right play, though. I'm racking my brain trying to find something else.
It makes sense because the trade into the Armorsmith is so good as well. And also, the Clutch Mother's actually doing something. Like, being a 2/2, it's not doing much, but making the Kill Command work is actually a job that it is doing, and it is doing it well.
Right. So, even though it was just a 2-mana 2/2, it did good.
It did good.
Did better than I've seen it do in most Warlock games recently, honestly.
All those Warlock games.
Yeah. the many 0 that I've seen since last week. I'm serious, not one.
Wow.
Not one on ladder.
So, Whirlwind Ravaging Ghoul is tempting, but so is Stonehill Ravaging Ghoul. Probably not in that order. Other available options are pretty weak, so it'll be one or the other. And just depends. Just burning the Whirlwind seems poor, but having a 3-3 versus nothing and the opportunity to use your hero power with Stonehill in reserve does seem quite tempting.
There's definitely an element where there is actually only 6 damage on the board, which isn't
Right.
too much in the grand scheme of things. 6 damage, it's unlikely that Croatia hero power next turn, so it is just 6 damage.
Yeah, and
Maybe this is the last turn you can get away with making a play just like Stonehill Defender.
yeah, they've got Primordial Drake in hand, so
Exactly.
the temptation is resisted to just clear, and Bog Creeper looks absolutely amazing given that next turn is turn 7 and their hand is kind of poor.
Yeah.
It's going to be like the world's worst curator.
Better stats, though.
But better stats.
Significantly better stats, actually.
And often the curator's stats do the job without even the stuff that it fetches, given you've already got Primordial Drake.
This is Curator plus 2/2.
And it's going to help to challenge the high main.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I don't see why Belarus wouldn't just hit that Clutch Mother and then stick up the taunt.
Yeah, it looks like that's what it'll be, and of course that means the Primordial Drake will be able to do a good job, possibly the turn after as well.
It would lose hard to a second Houndmaster. That
Sure.
would allow the Savannah Highmane actually to trade very well with the Bog Creeper.
Yeah, that would be pretty disastrous.
Tundra Rhino, also very strong against Bog Creeper here, actually. Insane next turn, could play Tundra Rhino, coin Rat Pack, and make a lot of trades.
Yep, that would definitely work as well. I think it might be what they have to do, but although the Rhino's good here, the Bog Creep will definitely do its job by killing off the high main and some of the residual stuff. Oh my goodness.
My gosh, as Admirable would say.
He would.
He would say that.
He would definitely say that.
Deadly Shot, 50-50 to get rid of a huge minion.
He'd say that as well. You've got to have a think about what position you're in if you do the Tundra Rhino play, which isn't a bad position.
Yeah.
Or the Deadly Shot play with the 50-50. If you won the 50-50, you probably win the game.
Yeah, you know, I don't think it's right, though, because you know that this deck runs cards like Primordial Drake.
Sure.
You know that Deadly Shot should get its chance later. Very often against Quest Warrior, it doesn't matter what you're playing, but very often you'll get a turn where they just plonk down a Primordial Drake, and that's where the Deadly Shot would be at its strongest. I still think I like the Rhino play here, but he's going to go for it! It misses!
Oh my goodness, straight over the crossbar.
Did you see the player,
somebody's pie.
Do you see the player reactions there?
Yeah, it's like, well, not like this.
All right, well,
Because they have this as a backup plan, maybe they decided that
yeah, okay.
they didn't want to play the Rat Pack anyway, perhaps,
Okay.
because of the likelihood of something dying and then getting brought everything away. So maybe they thought this would be okay as a secondary option, added up with the 50-50 as well. Maybe they thought this would be really good, and actually it looks all right.
Now, when the Primordial Drake comes down, and Insane has nothing he can do to deal with it.
Yeah, if they play it, because there is that wonder about any Death Rattle minions like the Rat Pack. There is the option to play Acolyte of Pain, Whirlwind, Execute.
Okay.
I'm not saying they will.
That
it's not
plays
the
around-
worst play in the world.
That plays around like Rat Pack and Hyena, doesn't it?
Right.
Like, if Insane was to pick up a Scavenging Hyena off the top, and the Tundra Rhino did live, the Rat Pack would trade in, the 1/1s would trade in, then I'm guessing the Hyena would trade in, finish the job against the Primordial Drake.
Yeah.
Tundra Rhino would remain unharmed. Maybe that is worth playing around, yeah.
It's an interesting call, and that's why they're taking their time, because you do draw that extra card as well, and it works out nicely. I think we'll see the Drake, because that's the play that isn't too cute. If you can't make the other play work in the time limit, you have to go with the sensible play.
In case anyone was wondering, we are 3 out of 7 in terms of completing the quest. Absolutely nowhere near. However, on the other side of things, that Crackling Razormaw could do some work. Whether he gains attack or poisonous, this is pretty huge.
Yeah, attack would be ridiculous here.
Ah, the one time you really want attack, you don't get it. Poisonous is fine, but imagine attack. He'd have gotten 5 rats? 4 rats, because there wouldn't be space on the board.
That would be a lot of rats.
Either way, this is some damage.
Yeah, they've got the Whirlwind to deal with these rats, which is possibly a reason they kept it, but 10 health left and are bearing down a lot on them. And there is a very, very, very timely Sleep with the Fishers. Whirlwind, Acolyte of Pain, Sleep with the Fishers, draw 2 cards, armor up. Or you might want to just hide behind the Creeper.
Acolyte obviously goes down first there, but I agree with that play. I don't think the Hunter should have 10 damage from the hand here.
Right. They've seen the 1 kill command already.
But maybe there's no reason not to play the Creeper instead of armor up. No, see what you draw from the Acolyte first, obviously. Then you just drop Creeper. Maybe that's right. We can see that would be better because we can see the Eagle Horn Bow. Fizmishko agrees with us. Gonna go for that. I think that both the pair of Armor Smiths probably going to end this game for Insane.
Yeah, just play out 1 or 2 more turns in case there's another Deadly Shot or Hunter's Mark or card of that ilk. But it does look like the Armor Smiths are going to get the job done here for Belarus.
As Belarus picks up a second execute, but nothing that they can use it on, which is probably a good thing, really. I mean, you just drop both Armor Smiths.
Yeah, I agree. And then just you can still hero power.
Yeah.
And you're just in no hurry to win this game. You're just in a hurry to get yourself to 14 or something just to completely shut it out.
Yeah. I wonder if, from his perspective, I wonder if Insane still has a chance here at all. He's not going to like that. Quest is now on 5 out of 7. 2 more, and then absolutely nothing happens because I don't think Belarus ever...
Yeah, I don't think we get that far.
I don't think they ever sacrifice their hero power, even if they do get that far. Like they just don't need it to win.
Yeah, the Armor Smiths shutting this one down and looking full well like Belarus. Oh my goodness, Croatia will just give this up now, I believe.
Yeah.
They might press that button once more. Because there isn't actually any particularly easy way for Belarus to gain armor right now if Insane doesn't want them to.
No.
But I can't see how he actually has a way to win. He can get 5 through from a second kill command. He can get 2 through from a hero power. That'd be 7.
Yeah.
He needs quick shot. That's what he needs.
I get the feeling that he's probably
machine.
not using that in his deck.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is standard, of course.
There's not vines everywhere, so...
Yeah. Would be a wild decision to run it. And he just hasn't got that option available to him.
That one was not good.
They're not all good.
No.
They're not all meant to be.
Mega Steel one was great. And keep coming back to it because it was so good, but that one wasn't good.
We just keep going.
Just like Insane, he's going to keep going, keep smacking that button, but unfortunately, Belarus are gaining 4 armor per his 2 damage dealt.
Yeah. So, just trying to hack through all this. And he's going to see 1 more card. I don't blame him, really.
In theory, if there's a second deadly shot, then there's still a
Hunter's
way.
Mark.
Or a Hunter's Mark, I guess, yeah.
There's cards that he might have in there, and as he's not giving up, they might... Yogg-Saron. Oh, no, sorry. Seems pretty unlikely. Has he cast a spell yet?
Do you know what? Do you know
Like
what?
2?
Do you know what? I shout Yogg-Saron out every time I can possibly get away with it. But this is one of those games where I'm pretty sure there's no Yogg-Saron.
That's the only reason I managed to get a word in edgeways about that old Yogg-Saron. Yeah, Yogg-Saron's not happening in this.
Whenever this is happening...
However, Call of the Wild could be. That's a legitimate Hearthstone card that could still be worth playing on for.
Yeah, I mean, Highmane's not bad.
We haven't seen any crab tech. We haven't seen any messing around. Maybe this is a longer range hunter than we thought it was.
Maybe. If the next 2 draws are Call of the Wild into Call of the Wild, then just shut me up, because... The problem is, if there are any 2 minions that Fizmishko could have right now, I would say having 2 different Armor Smiths, probably like the worst for Insane. Insane looked very, very unhappy about that Curator as well.
Yeah, I think he felt he had a chance with the Highmane, actually.
Yeah, it was a good draw.
And now the Curator's really just shut that down, because the Highmane was actually going to stick around for a turn or 2, at least potentially. We can see double execute, of course. And if it stuck around for even 1 turn with no taunts on the board, that would have been an opening, because he only needs to connect once with something fairly big.
Kodo is not bad. Who needs Deadly Shot when you've got Stampeding Kodo? If that was drawn a few turns ago...
Right. That explains a lot about why he carried on as well.
Yeah, like we were talking about Deadly Shot, but that's actually just as good. Unfortunately, there's still a taunt in the way. Both Armor Smiths gone. Essentially... Oh man, if Insane wins this, it's going to be one of the best comebacks I've ever seen.
It is going to actually be insane. Because the hero power is not getting them anywhere. It's not getting Belarus out of trouble. Yeah, their cards are getting them out of trouble, but they're not actually escaping sort of double kill command range, except we know that one kill command's already
Yeah.
gone. But then they're not getting out of range of being hit once by something big.
Also, they run a shield block probably, because if they're running Armor Smith,
Right.
regular Armor Smith, then they're probably running a shield block too.
Another card that could maybe get insane out of trouble will be Swamp King Dread. It's not bad at all against Taunt Warrior, because the taunts don't get to stick about.
Yeah, and it's a 7-mana 9/9 as well.
Right, so
it
it
even
eats up
trades
the
well.
taunts,
Yeah.
basically gives itself Wind Fury for every taunt,
Yeah.
and then just smashes you in the face for 9. So that's another card that's possible here. Again, if any minion of any sort of size connects face here in the next turn or two, Croatia can win this. I just don't know how they ever make that connection to face.
Quest complete. Completely irrelevant. Again, Belarus
Yeah.
needs that hero power.
I actually feel that it's very slightly, a tiny bit better.
Oh, okay. So it might just allow for a slightly earlier lethal, actually.
Which might, yeah, if it seems like Insane is actually looking for something. He's got a clear here, and he gets to keep a 1/1 on the board, by the way.
The funny thing is, if there was no Primordial Drake there, I think this would be lethal.
Wow.
No, it would be like a few off because there would be one less hound. But
Is he trying to work out if he needs the recursive damage from the hound? And no, he's got to do it this way because he can't kill the Primordial the other way. So yeah, he's going to have a 1/1 stuck on the board, which is my first thought.
it is amazing how close Insane got here.
Right.
Just amazing, considering there was an Ali Armor Smith and an Armor Smith on the
And a
board.
Curator afterwards.
And a Curator.
Like we thought that they'd done it with the cards on the board, and they've had
Yeah.
a Curator since, and it's still not over.
Curator defending the Armor Smiths.
Quickly.
I'm not quite sure this dog is going to get it done.
No,
I mean,
this,
every dog does have its day, but I don't think this dog is having its day here.
he's having a day.
He's having a bit of a day.
He's having a day. He's a... Oh, is that kill command in face? Never mind that. Okay. I thought that the dog was going to be free to hit the face, though.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen the dog do a damage, but it didn't. And Belarus take a 1-0 lead and putting themselves in a good spot, not just in this match, but in the group.
As we see a very happy... He doesn't look that happy. He should look happier, this Mishko. I'm happy when I win games of Hearthstone.
I've never tried.
What, being happy or winning a game of Hearthstone?
Either or, just pick one out. I don't mind either way. Just one or the other. Yeah, a really good result for Belarus there. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. It was really close game. Like we were saying way too early that we thought that game might be over. But
Yeah.
really, it probably was over. But the comeback that almost ensued was incredible. And next up, it's going to be No Name versus Kamikaze.
Yeah, No Name, one of the players who will be a bit miffed that he didn't reach the playoffs, being 1 point short of
was.
getting there. That's a real pity, but those things sometimes make you stronger. RDU last season came so close to getting to championships, and now this time around, he's finally done it. So
Yeah.
definitely a story for No Name to try and make himself into an actual name over here.
Right, well, all players have to start somewhere, right?
Right.
If you start playing Hearthstone now, then maybe it'll take a year, maybe it'll take 2 years before you actually have a name. Jokes aside, Tvist did say to me he's probably one of the lesser known players
Right.
on the team. He said that he's a very, very strong ladder player, No Name. But this could be the tournament where he can make a name for himself.
Yeah, and ladder players, I mean, Frozen is now regarded as one of the best players in the world. He was really known as a ladder player. Standard Archie,
Right?
played like a million games of ladder and arena. I mean, literally, he had 20,000 wins in each at some point
That is-
ages ago, and he's played so much more now. And that's just wins. That doesn't even count the 3 games he lost.
the 3 games, yeah, right.
So yeah, he made his name. Obviously, he won the Winter Championship. So you start off. A lot of these players do start off by making their name as ladder players, and then the word gets around amongst their peers. Hey, this guy's always top 25 legend. Who is he? And then eventually they get that little bit of experience. And this event is designed to give those sort of players experience. As you see, No Name there, looking pretty pensive, waiting for this game.
Very serious, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, experience and exposure galore is the global games where you get to see a little taste of the player base that every single country has to offer. And that's one of the great things. It's like, it's not just the popular countries like the USA that we've been seeing stomping everyone, but it's also teams like Belarus who maybe they don't have as much Hearthstone going on
Right.
over there. Maybe they don't have as much opportunity to really prove themselves. And this is an opportunity for them to prove themselves.
Sure is.
They've only lost 1 game so far, they've won a game. They're doing an okay job at the start.
Yeah, No Name. Another thing about No Name is he did say this is the first year he's taken seriously.
Right.
He's played a lot of Hearthstone, as you know. He's done a lot of laddering, like you've said.
Right.
But this is the first year where he's really going that extra step. It's like he wants to start doing well, and I think that's reflecting just the shot we saw of him there, him looking like really, really ready for this game.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, who doesn't want to play Hearthstone for a living? It's great, but the pressure. Because the thing is about competing is that you actually have to win if you want to do it for a living.
You do. You do have to win.
You can stream, and then it's not as important to win. But this isn't about streaming. This is about really competing the top level of competition. Belarus want to earn themselves a place against USA in the finals, or you know, in the next phase of the competition.
And this, with all respect to Croatia, honestly, next two games for Belarus are Ukraine and the Philippines. This is the one that I think Belarus will think, right, this is the one where we really need to make the most of Croatia being slightly weak in those two teams.
It's finally coming up. Me and Gaskin went over it very quickly earlier, but the big meta breaker, I think, of the last week of Hearthstone, the biggest change is the appearance. Did you see Dan in the corner of my eye? Gaskin doing a little dance over there.
Oh my goodness. If only the world could have seen what just happened. Yep.
The appearance of Evolve Shaman, which is genuinely a thing. I know that you've been murmuring things to us about it for a little while.
Yeah.
Laura. Your list wasn't the same as the list that's come out here, but you've been saying for a while, I bet this deck could be good in the future.
Yeah, what I thought, I slapped it together randomly. Not randomly, I tested it and it did really well. And I thought, okay, I'm playing at like rank 9 or whatever I was when I tested it on 4 days into the season. I thought, well, this looks like it could be really good. However, Shaman has so many good cards, I'm just going to forget this and move on. And this is nothing like my list. It's just, like I said, I've thought this looks all right. And the reason it's good is because it's got a different way of winning the game. Shaman can control games for as long as it wants, believe it or not. Since the world has moved on and we no longer hit people for 100 on turn 2, Shaman can control games all day long. It has the access to a great Jade package, which is not only aggressive, but is controlling games. But sometimes it lacks that killer instinct. Sometimes it has to draw its one bloodlust or something like that. And what this does is it just says, sometimes I get 6 mana and I make a board you can't deal with and win the game. In that whole package of controlling the game that you otherwise have.
So you said that Shaman can control the game all day long. Well, you know what? No Name with the aggro druid probably doesn't have all day. In fact, I doubt he has 5 minutes that he wants to play this game.
Right, it's going to be hard work for Croatia to fend this off. But they do have Devolve and Maelstrom Portal in hand, and they do have a very, very early combo of Doppelgangster and Evolve. And if they hit that on turn 5 or turn 6, and they're not on too low a health total, they will win the game.
Darwin would be proud indeed. There's a lot of evolving and devolving going on.
And a lot of beasts.
Yeah. Devolve actually hugely relevant against the Token Druid because they have all of these cards, Mark of the Lotus, Power of the Wild, that just buff all of the minions.
Right.
Vicious Fledgling buffs itself. And Devolve can just do a great job of sort of resetting, though it's not good enough on its own to just win Kamikaze of the game.
But it gets rid of all the buffs, like you're saying.
And followed by a Maelstrom Portal. I mean, all of the minions currently on the board, they become Wisps.
Yeah, sure.
So Maelstrom Portal will just clean them up.
If you even want to, which you do, because Savage Raw says, yep, you need to clean them up or all these buffs are going back on. The difficult bit is the timing for Croatia. They need to make sure that they take a little bit of a chance. Oh, never mind. Problem solved. We do it now. No timing issues here. You just kill that thing.
Okay, so Kamikaze can play Devolve, Coin, Maelstrom Portal if he wants to, but there's no guarantee that it's going to get rid of the 2-drop that the Fledgling leaves behind.
It's not, but it will challenge it with the minion. Or they might just choose to devolve them and take their lumps for 1 turn.
Maybe?
They won't really want to because of Mark of the Lotus, but it would have sped up their combo by a turn, so they're quite happy to do this.
Huckster is slightly irritating, especially as it has the potential to just give No Name a lava burst or something.
Never mind. Just a nice 1-3 Void Walker here, which challenges the Huckster perfectly. Even though it's irritating, I think they'd have taken that outcome.
Oh, I was just about to say No Name is about to start running out of steam, but what is that? A 5-mana 5/3 that discovers a rogue, shaman, or what's the other class? Yeah, druid card.
Yeah, so it's just building up. They're managing to turn their 3-drop into a 2-drop, into a 5-drop. That thing's just going to get bigger. They could get a 10-drop from that, possibly.
Yeah, they're not going to. Innovate's no good here. Fan of Knives might actually have to be the pick just to draw a card.
Yeah, there was an option to take the Innovate and just save it for later, so you can play it after you play your Living Mana. If you do that in the next 1 or 2 turns, then you've got Savage Draw on your Living Mana. But yeah, it makes sense that they just take something to kill some things off with.
Patch is not a good draw there. He really wanted to get that from the Blood Cell Corsair later. Probably immediately before an Evolve, actually.
Right, and this is the punish for using the coin last turn.
Right.
Or not the punish, but the downside. This is the payback turn, where actually, last turn was great, we killed a load of things. This turn, we're sitting here looking at a whole selection of nothing.
Pretty good totem to get, though. If Kamikaze doesn't make a trade here, then at least it means that Hungry Crab on its own will not be dealing with the Voidwalker. Voidwalker's just going to go face. Gonna evolve this, okay. Galactic Crawlers everywhere.
Yeah. That wasn't the greatest evolve, but it wasn't too bad.
I liked it, though. I liked the play, because he went from having really a nothing board to actually having a board.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely challenging, okay.
He doesn't need to save both evolves, especially against this deck.
And something bad was going to happen with this Fan of Knives, I think, as well. It's still going to be pretty nasty. It's going to be a clear. But
that's pretty nasty.
It really is. If the Druid is clearing, though, in general, it isn't doing its job properly, because it needs to be hitting you in the mouth.
That's true. But Firefly plus Power of the Wild is a pretty silly strong combo. Can't be played this turn. I wonder if Galactic Crawler just comes down. Then again, I don't think it... So No Name knows there's a Patches in Croatia's hand.
Yes. Either or it's the worst built deck ever.
But the thing is, the turn Patches gets played, it probably just trades in.
Right.
So is there any reason to hold on to the Galactic Crawler?
There is not in a way, but also you might just want to Power the Wild now, or you might want to get the Firefly set up now. Yeah, he's looking at doing a really huge next turn. With the Savage Draw and the Power of the Wild as options.
Mana Tide Totem.
Actually got to play the Patches here.
Okay, so he can just play Think from Below, and the next turn there is the potential to get 3 6-mana taunts from Doppelgangster.
I mean, he almost certainly will get that chance. If he doesn't take too much of a beating this turn, you just play that, and there's a lot of options that can come out of this taunt minions. I haven't done the numbers, I'm afraid, and I should have, but cards like Sunwalker spring to
That's
mind.
the one that sprang to my mind too, and you just took it from me.
Yes. It used to be, I think it used to be 4, and I think one of them has gone. The Joust guy. No, there was a 6-drop that had taunt, and I'm sure it's gone. But I'm not going to keep trying to guess because I'm just going to make myself worse.
Yeah, another one you mean, Gadget and Jouster, but it had Battle Cry, like Gain Taunt.
Perhaps there was something else then. Anyway, moving on. I don't think there's that many taunts, but there are a lot of very good minions.
Including a 1/1. There is a 6-mana 1/1.
6 mana, 1/1.
Probably don't want
Fetch
that
your friend, but you don't get his friend.
I don't think I've ever seen that card played from the hand in Standard.
I think I've seen it, but I couldn't tell you why. I play at some funny levels on free-to-play Asia sometimes.
Right. Well, Belarus actually not dealing with this Thing from Below is huge because it means the Kamikaze gets a 7-drop as well as the 3 6-drops.
Yep. Okay, let's see what comes of this. There's no reason to do anything else.
I agree. Oh, is there ever a reason to Flame Tongue to get rid of the crab? I don't think so, but is it worth considering? No. Okay, this is much.
Doing the attack first because he may, it just auto heals. See what we get. And no,
Illidan.
Wow. Illidan, Cold Light Seer, Ravenholt Assassin, and Lekari Fell Doofus.
What?
Fellhound. No? What's the 3/8? I know what the others are.
Blossom. No, Ancient of Blossom.
Ancient of Blossom.
Ancient
okay.
of Blossom.
I thought this is 2/8, isn't it? The Fellhound.
Yeah, that's the.
And it
Warlock
looks
one.
totally different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always remember this.
And it costs 4.
Because he's like Ancient of War and Ancient of Law.
But right.
Blossoms.
Part of the fact it's the wrong class, the wrong
mana
attack,
cost,
the wrong mana cost, and everything else. I was pretty close.
And a demon.
I got the other 3 right.
I mean, now I've had a moment to digest this board that came from the Evolve. It's really, really good.
Right.
Belarus may decide they have to play the Savage Roar this turn. Yeah, it looks like it's coming down. The Crab goes into the Ancient of Blossoms. Then Face plus, yeah, going to deal with Illidan. But now, after that incredible evolve, Croatia has complete control of this board. The Stealth minion can get rid of the Tar Lurker, Tar Creeper even.
Yep.
The Murloc can't quite deal with the Crab, but I don't think it matters too much.
Yeah, I'm not sure it matters too much as well. And they might just play the other Doppelgangster here and keep back the totem.
Both Evolves are gone, so there's no real reason to hold it. There's potentially a Bloodlust in the deck.
Yeah, there could be. And with Flame Tongue in hand, these guys are representing 4 damage each next turn as well. So no likely way for these to be dealt with. It's very unlikely there's 2 swipes. It's very unlikely there's a Blood Mage Thanos. So these guys should survive. Health total's high enough to bring it on. And this also deals with potential living mana.
Exactly, yeah. Preemptively giving you stuff to trade in. Although a living mana would still be a problem for Croatia.
Right.
Because he'd have to trade everything and then he'd have kind of lost his whole advantage. I think that Kamikaze wants to get the Mana Tide Totem down as early as possible to start drawing through his deck and making sure that now he's created this incredible board, he can sustain it. Though you have to imagine that Kamikaze's deck is filled with more value than No Names is.
He's also 1 off lethal.
He is also...
I think. If I've added it up right, he's 1 off lethal next turn. It'll be 2 because there'll be a hero power coming in because there's no more mana for Belarus to use.
I count the same thing. 2 off lethal now with the Flame Tongue totem.
Yeah.
Time waits for no one.
And as they don't know that's coming in, they might go face here. Yeah, they're going to. And Croatia should be in a really, really good spot. They are now.
I
They're
said there
definitely
may
in
be
a
a
good spot
Bloodlust,
now.
and that looks like a Bloodlust as Kamikaze takes the first game of the Hearthstone Global Games that includes an Evolved Shaman.
Croatia leveling up at 1-1. It's only their 2nd win in a game, and this is their 4th best of 5. And they'll be mighty relieved there. For a moment, it didn't look like they might get that done as well, but they did. And yeah, down to a best of 3 now.
Evolved Shaman is 1 win and 0 losses in the Hearthstone Global
Evolve getting a Darwin there for a 1-1 situation.
I've got to confess, I haven't tried the deck yet. I've seen it. I've had it played against me a lot. I haven't tried it. I want to... And yeah, I did. I just let that one breeze over there. There's been so many of those today.
I'm so sorry.
I've not left the... Don't forget, I've not left the casting desk since the last time I went through these games with you, Neil. And I'm still getting over the mega sore.
All right, so luckily there's Hearthstone coming up, so we don't have to talk about the fact that I'm old any longer. Travno Boy is going to be on the Priest, and Kato Shechika is going to be on another
That was
Hunter.
good. Say that again.
Hunter.
Very nice. Hunter versus Priest then. Wow, we've seen so much Hunter today.
Right. And I'm really annoyed that I didn't predict it on stream because I said it last night. Lots of Hunter. Hunter was pretty good on HCT over the weekend. And in this event, it does a job. It's not like Warlock where the job is, we don't want you, you're fired. The job is, hey, you've got a specialist thing, you can back up one of the other classes. And from time to time, if we get the right matchups, it makes our opponents guess. And if they guess wrong and we play the Hunter, it could get the win. Although, again, we saw earlier, it didn't work out so well when they thought they were playing against Pirates.
For personal reasons, I'm really hoping this is a Dragon Priest on the other side.
I'm hoping it is too.
Or my entire weekend
and any longer.
was for nothing.
So we've got Priest, which is almost certainly Silence, versus Hunter, which is probably, who knows.
I love this background of Team Croatia, by the way. Looks like they're in some proper high-tech, esports place.
Yeah, we should probably try and find out where that is, actually.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. Looking very serious on both sides. Don't forget, guys, this is a team competition. Hearthstone Global Games. Every single game that you've seen in this tournament has involved 2 teams communicating with each other throughout the entirety of their games. via headsets and anything, or in person, if that's what they
Right.
used to do, as we can see from these guys here.
And in some cases, it's not just the players in the team that are helping get the community together. I know in Greece, the local internet cafe has provided a free place for the team to practice,
Wow.
and hang out, and so on. So the community is not just the 4 players involved, but the local cafes, the other players from that nation who want to help out with preparation. For some nations, it really is a truly important event for a lot of their players and the surrounding peripheral businesses and such like.
Of course, it's Silence Priest. Do you think that having a community, a smaller, tight-knit community that really wants to see their country succeed, do you think that makes the players play better, or is that just more pressure?
I think it helps them play better, not just because they will be more focused or any of that stuff. I don't think that helps that way, but it gives them just the support group you need. It gives you more help. And the more help you get, the better you be. I know when I used to play test for other games, like live, you get so much communication done in a live conversation with several teammates in one day. You learn so much, even from the weaker members of the community.
Yeah.
Somebody will say something that you've all overlooked, and it's like, oh my goodness, that guy's right. Wow.
I mean, even simple things like looking at Travner Boy on the bottom there, looking from side to side, like he's looking at one of his teammates and talking, and looking at another one of his teammates and talking. That's just something you can't do when you're communicating online. Like, you have to say their name first, and then it can get messy, and people start talking over each other. It just makes communication so much easier.
Yeah, and if you've got someone like Fizmushko, who is maybe a little bit impulsive, was the word used, I believe. It just helps to have the other guys around to maybe calm them down. If he's going, yeah, I'm going to press this button, like someone can just tackle him to the floor.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right.
Maybe suggest you stop.
Probably not do that, but
You know what I mean?
same type of thing. Belarus there with a pretty strong start as the Hunter, having to drop their kind of useless tech card down on turn 1, but now they can play the Crackling Razormaw, or they could just drop a Scavenging Hyena.
Might be important. Well, might be important. It's going to be seriously important whether they're playing Deadly Shot or Hunter's Mark or something like that in this. If they are not, this Razor Leaf with a purified Divine Spirit is going to get out of hand very, very quickly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about Potion of Madness at the moment. So if Crackling Razormaw came down... So if Crackling Razormaw into 1-1 happened, then Potion of Madness would just destroy Belarus.
Yes.
If Crackling Razormaw into attack happened, Potion of Madness couldn't do anything. Crackling Razormaw into Death Rattle, then Potion of Madness is still pretty strong.
Don't think they'll end up making the potion good.
Okay.
Might even be the reason they're playing the Hyena now, as there's no good potion for it.
Well, funny thing is, actually, it allows Travner Boy a way of getting rid of the crab and not buffing the Hyena, because he can take the Hyena with Potion of Madness, use it to kill the crab, and because it's not on the same side of the board, it won't buff the Hyena.
Right.
And actually, now that he's picked up Radiant Elemental, that's probably a play worth considering.
Yeah, especially as this Hyena, let's say you play the Radiant Elemental, you're running the crab, the Hyena becomes a 4-3, you're running the Hyena, it's a 4-1. We all know that even though it sounds bad, a 4-1's actually really difficult for Priest to deal with. So playing the Hyena there with just one other beast on board is interesting to say the least.
Alternatively, coin out Humongous Razor Leaf is definitely an option. It's the one he's going to go for. It means that next turn he can follow up with Radiant Elemental plus Purify plus Potion of Madness. As it's very, very likely that Travner Boy's minion is going to be able to get rid of the Hyena.
Yeah, another crab. And so I think it might be time to Razormaw at your crab and hope for poison.
Yep. Poison seems pretty good. Seems as good as Deadly Shot here.
Yeah, don't like doing the praying thing here. Like, it's only a 30% chance, but I think it's such a powerful play that you go for it.
Yep. Also, it would buff up the Hyena, which just doubles up.
Yeah, it does the whole thing of putting the Hyena on 4.
No poisonous here, though. We've seen a lot today of the adapts just not quite going the way that the players have wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it is only a 30% chance, so you've got to expect to fail and have a backup plan. And where do you put this Hyena? Who's laughing now, Hyena?
If you trade it,
you ruin Divine Spirit. You make Divine Spirit so much worse if you trade it. But if you start trading away all your minions, you never win the game if you can't hit them in the face enough. And it's a pretty difficult dilemma, especially when you have no idea what is going on the other side. Oh my goodness.
Well, the thing is, it's not silenced yet, so I guess that's one argument for not destroying it. The worst that can happen. Our Faceless Shambler can't even come down this turn. So the worst that can happen is actually Radiant Elemental into Silence it, into Buff it. But there's just not enough mana. I think Potion of Madness seems pretty strong here, though. I don't know why you'd hold on to it any longer. I guess if you think that you could pick off a Rat Pack with it, that's obviously an incredible Potion of Madness. But I just think with this board here, it's just too strong to just play it. Why is he... Oh, in a fire. Okay, sure.
Yeah, he's just putting this out of sight. And from nowhere... And this is the great power of this deck. It's not all the combo, because the combo pieces don't have to all be used for your hand to be pretty good. Despite the fact there's going to be no combo for a while, this board is really menacing from nowhere.
Only takes one inner fire to win the game. Which is why you'll more often see players take Divine Spirit from Shadow Visions than Inner Fire, because you want as many Divine Spirits as possible. Keep doubling your health up. Huffer's pretty good for cutting.
Yeah, especially considering their next 2 turns are perfect curves. So the Huffer now, if he's just used to clear up, whereas a minute ago it looked like they weren't going to have enough stuff, well, actually they've got enough stuff now if they can just get rid of this board. And they get rid of as much as they can, and then Rhino and Highmane are looking good.
Ancient Watcher seems fine. Just make the trade, heal something up. You're right, though. Belarus's hand looks like it's going places very soon. Picks up a Houndmaster, not going to do anything. The minion on the board is a plant, not a beast.
It's a plant.
There's no plant tribe, not just yet. Shares and the Corpse Flower may have something to say about that someday, though.
Yeah. Zombie plants. Alright, Divine Spirit faces Shambler, but not now, because the Radiant Elemental has vanished. We could have...
Now, the second Divine Spirit being picked up means that that's it, that's the limit. There is no more picking up Divine Spirits from Shadow Visions. Shadow Visions is a card that discovers a spell that's still in your deck. Divine Spirit is no longer in Croatia's deck, which means they need to kind of play them sparingly.
Unless they just feel they can make, you know, a big minion, and it just wins. Like, if there's no deadly shot, obviously a 2020 just wins at some point.
I think I just like dropping the Faceless Shambler here. It's a 4-5 with Taunt. You can't drop Lyra because anything that gets summoned just trades into it. Though, Chavna Boy disagrees. Obviously, I can see the Savannah Highmane. That's why I'm saying that. He can't see the Savannah Highmane. That would be cheating.
Alright, but it's going to play that, and Lyra is going to get eaten by the Highmane. But there is the Divine Spirit into Faceless, make a 4-10 play available for Croatia next turn. But this turn is going to be pretty bloody.
Yep.
No silence available either. We can see it, obviously Belarus can't. No silence available, so if they do just go with a straightforward Highmane into Lyra play, Belarus are going to find themselves in a really good spot.
This is probably the turning point of the entire game, actually. It's so disheartening after when you've had to make a Tundra Rhino stick, you're just thinking to yourself, please don't have a Savannah Highmane. Please don't have a Savannah Highmane. And it's so disheartening what we're about to witness.
It is,
for Croatia.
But I mean, Croatia can just make a 420 Watcher, and then next turn they'll take a beating, and then the turn after they can make a 420 Taunt. And so it's nowhere near over yet.
420 Taunt. I don't know, I'm worried about the board that Belarus is going to have at that stage, though. Actually not going to play the Highmane yet. No need to. Can just buff up the Tundra Rhino, make the trades here.
And that Highmane represents 10. So if Croatia do go with the Divine Spirit, make a 4-10, the Highmane can't actually kill itself, which is slightly awkward, but they will be able to get through a 4-10, and the Highmane still lives.
Isn't Cabal Talon Priest Divine Spirit slightly better now? Cabal Talon Priest Divine Spirit would put the Ancient Watcher as a 4-16. The next turn, Divine Spirit makes it a 4-32.
Sure.
Then Faceless Shambler makes that a 4-32 with Taunt that can actually attack.
Sure, and they're going to go with that line.
It's risky because for the Hunter, Face is now the place.
Right, and it's the damage is coming thick and fast, but keeping back this Highmane looks like a really good play.
Kind of got to go ahead and play it now. Kodoreshka knows that this is a Divine Spirit. He'll have worked that out as soon as the card is hovered over, or a Powered Shield, I guess. Kodo not going to do much except charge the face, which is quite a lot, really.
Okay, 6, 10, 14, 15 available if they play the high main.
I wonder...
The trouble is now it's very difficult for them to defend the Rhino. It's not that difficult to defend the Rhino, you just kill the 3-4.
It's actually not possible for Belarus to deal with that Ancient Watcher, which is pretty funny. Because Hyman goes into it but doesn't die, so he can't attack with a... I believe he can deal 15 damage to it if he wants to. Which essentially does deal with it.
It does, yeah. But they also need to... If they want to keep the Rhino alive, they need to deal with a 3-4 as well. See what decision they choose to make here. It's a close one. They have still got quite a bit of direct damage in their deck. They've got, well, 2 kill commands at least.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to make sure they just don't lose to this 4-16.
Okay, well, it's smart, and it buys Croatia an extra turn, but what can they do with that extra turn?
I like this. This has decided that, you know what, we can deal with a 4-9.
Sure.
But we can't deal with a 4-32.
Or 4-16, is it? Or 4-18, is it's gonna... Yeah. What is it with me and doubling numbers today? Earlier I said 5 times 2 was 8. Now I'm saying 9 times 2 is 16.
5 times 2 is 8.
No, see what happened is I was thinking about doubling the attack instead of doubling the health. That was the mistake. But now I just said 4-16 or whatever. Oh.
I don't even know what you said to me.
I don't know. I just need to stop doing numbers today.
Okay, so they're going to make the 4-9 and not even a double. They're actually going to do it this way around.
Ah, right. Okay. Oh, okay. What a silence pickup.
Works out nicely. And now you can just go for the 4-18 if you want it. You can't because of mana. Oh my goodness.
Mana's a thing. Mana's the thing, though. This Savannah Highmain can't get past the Faceless Shambler. This is the weirdest game of Hearthstone that I've seen in a long time.
Silence Priest is so complicated to play really well because there's so many different ways of navigating it, and most of them don't involve making 20 minions. But the large majority of winning ones do.
So what is the play from Kartareshka here?
First of all, you discuss whether there's any 1 and 2 attack minions in the deck. And then you just... Well, you've got to press the hero power button, I think.
I wonder.
I mean, you've kind of lost. But you haven't because your opponents aren't putting enough pressure on.
Yeah. If he drops both minions, it would take the Kodo plus the Highmain to deal with the Shambler.
Right.
But the priest can just heal it up.
And now you've gone with this route, you maybe have to play both minions and just say, ugh.
I think you're right. I think the priest just wins this game unless there's a random Call of the Wild. Just like we were saying about the earlier Hunter game. These Hunters need to start putting Call of the Wild in the deck. It would win them the game.
It really is good. It just takes forever, that's all.
It was on 8 mana anyway.
Right, so make a 4-6. Take out their last threat. Hit them a little bit.
So do you heal up the Shambler and then double its health? You make it a 4-10?
I don't know what I heal. What do you heal? Do you keep the 4-1 alive? Do you make that a 4-3 as well?
I wonder if you just heal up the 4-1, trade it in, and then drop Pyromancer and go face. Hold on to Divine Spirit for a little bit longer.
So what are you scared of here? You're scared of... I mean, you're not scared of much, but kill command.
Multi-shot?
Yeah, multi-shot. Wow.
No. This plays around multi-shot, so I think it was the right play because it plays around multi-shot.
Yeah, the only question really was whether you want 2 medium minions or a big and a small, just because a deadly shot 50-50 might be nice for you now.
Big one with taunt though. Seems fine.
It makes a lot of sense, but deadly shot is very slightly annoying if it wins its 1 in 3 and if they have it, and many other ifs that aren't happening.
I was going to say, deadly shot's not in every deck, is it? We saw it earlier, but I wouldn't call it the most common Hunter card.
But I think they're far enough in front that you start playing around the whole possibility of everything.
Yeah, I agree.
You get to this certain point where it's like, you know what, we've won this game unless, what's the unless? And it doesn't matter how ridiculous the unless is, you play around it.
Yep.
I wonder.
And sometimes it's pretty ridiculous. And just not being able to match cards doing things to things they need to do right now.
What does he want from Animal Companion?
9/9 charge minion.
Don't think
Not how the card works.
No. Again, if Animal Companion was actually 3 Animal Companions,
Yeah?
then it would probably still not be good enough.
And
Actually.
it still wouldn't be good enough. Yeah, that's the sort of mess they're in right now. And it's not even obvious what to do here. I think the Kodo's fine because it hits 2 things. Like if they want to take it down, which they will, it will at least deliver 6 damage. I don't think it's ever going to do more than 6 damage. And I guess that with that in mind, yeah, you've got a hero power every turn. You're out of resources. That's the age-old thing. If you're out of resources as the hunter, hero power every turn, hope it goes away.
Shadow Visions, there can't actually be that many spells left in the deck.
No.
So there's an Inner Fire somewhere. There's probably a Potion of Madness. Okay, Shadow Vision's going to clear that board up, that's nice. And of course, Powered Shield, but no Divine Spirits left as we've established. They've both already been drawn out of the deck.
Inner Fire's probably just fine here. Powered Shield might be okay.
It's definitely not the Potion, but I'm not sure which of the other 2 it is. Inner Fire is more damage immediately. Powered Shield is more longevity.
Yeah, most of these decisions are, what are we playing next? Looking at game 4, what are we going to play? And they are still trying to keep it together though, Croatia, making sure that they don't do anything silly to mess this up. Whenever there's a Pyromancer on the board, it is possible to mess things up.
Yeah, so doing the right thing there, healing it up first. He could have done it the other way around, played Powered Shield on the Pyromancer, healed up the face of Shambler. But keeping the Shambler's maximum health as high as possible seems smart. Savannah Highmane, not a bad draw, actually.
I think they need to play the high main. I think they need to play the companion with it. Otherwise, Croatia are just going to ignore the high main and deliver another 9 to the face.
Who needs Highmane? It's not even a good card, says Croatia.
Because the high main can't get through the 4-8 in one turn without the help of the companion.
No.
And everyone needs a companion to help them.
Do you need a companion?
I need lots of companions.
I'll be your companion.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Animal Companion plus Savannah Highmane. Misha plus Highmane. What's that do? Okay, yeah, Misha plus Highmane probably allows the Highmane to deal with the Shambler eventually.
So do you wait until next turn, though? And then just hope the Highmane sits there, hope Croatia hit you in the mouth, and then you go,
yeah.
Animal Companion,
yeah, okay.
Please give me the
Huffer.
Leok I require.
Huffer. Huffer's probably the one, right?
Yeah, Huffer would be the one.
Now Croatia want that Shadow Visions back so they can actually get some
Right.
Pyromancer value. Gonna just go ahead, heal up the Shambler, I imagine. Do you ever think they need to heal the face here? I don't think so. I think the Taunt is essentially just extra health for the face now. Unless there was a Deadly Shot. But if he goes wide, then he's playing around Deadly Shot anyway.
They might heal face. They might read that companion's Deadly Shot #1 and be a little tiny bit scared.
Okay.
Like you say, actually 12 is, you know, with a healing. Yeah, okay, yeah. They read that as, yeah, you've got to heal face. You've got to read that as kill command #1. If they draw kill command #2 and you're on 12, you lose the game. So
right.
you kind of have to play that. And of course, the actual reality of the situation is just nothing like what we just described. And Belarus are in a world of trouble.
Yeah, pretty low value pick up there. I think it's safe to say Alley Cat not what...
Not optimal
Counter-Session
in this situation.
Not optimal in the situation. That is a very correct way of putting that. Very, yeah.
And they can't even play the Alley Cat, really. Because then the Acolyte just draws more cards.
Yeah, that's a problem. Though this board is looking a little bit worse for the Priest now.
It really is.
Though I think there's a lot of cards in the deck that would get them out of the situation. Any spell would help. Heal up the Pyromancer first, play a spell, trade the Pyromancer in. Obviously, you get a draw from the Acolyte there.
We know there aren't that many spells left in the deck. But
I'm pretty sure there's both Powered Shields, which is probably the best spell they could draw as well.
sure.
There's a Shadow Visions as well, which could pick up an extra Powered Shield. There's a Potion of Madness, which doesn't do much at all until the Highmane dies. Oh, I take it back.
Interesting, they're putting it on the board. Powered Shield would be really good here, I think. Talon Priest will do, right? Talon Priest is just enough to get through the Misha, and then you can just bump off one of the cats, and you're good, I think.
So you're Talon Priesting up the Shambler, trading that into the... Okay.
And then put the Acolyte probably into an Alley Cat, although you could put it into the Highmane if you wanted.
Yep.
Depends how greedy you want to be with it. Now draw a card and see where you're at.
There's the potion.
It's where you want to be. Now you've got a full clear. No, you haven't, because you've got to heal first. Now you've got a full clear.
Yeah. No.
And another card.
Yeah. You just trade the Radiant Elemental. Or you can do it this way. You can trade in the... If you're not bothered about drawing from the Acolyte, you can just trade in the Pyromancer.
Okay.
It doesn't matter either way, I think. Oh, it does matter.
I like healing the pyro here and then potioning, drawing a card.
The only problem with that is that the face the Shambler dies. You lose your taunt that's been there the whole game.
All right.
Whether that actually matters or not, I'm not sure. It looks like Croatia have decided it does matter.
They know the contents of their deck more accurately than we do. I'll go with the fact they know they don't need that card.
Yeah. And this
Does set up lethal.
Yeah. Sets up lethal. It's safe. Kindly Grandmother not going to do much for Belarus. We're going to get the concede, I think, any moment. Players are already like getting ready to switch over by the looks of things. There we go.
Croatia take a 2-1 lead on their way to their possible first match win of the event. And that means the next game is crucial, not just because they might win the match, but I got this feeling looking through the tables that 3-1 is significantly better than 3-2 for them. They've got -8 game difference. And I feel that a 3-2 win might not be enough. A 3-1 probably isn't either, to be fair,
right.
But if
So
they're going to have maths on their side, they need game difference.
Record, yeah. Okay.
So not only do they want to win the match, but they want to win it. I mean, they want to win it now anyway, but actually the way the maths works out is they probably need to win it now.
Yeah, it's this tough position where they could win every game, every series from this point on, and still not make it through to the next round, but they're fighting on nonetheless. I'm very, very happy to see Croatia taking this so seriously, still getting together in their very awesome place with the cool background, which I will absolutely ask about if we get to interview them.
And just to say, I mean, they've lost their games badly, right? But they lost to Ukraine 3-0. All right, that happens to people. It's a thing. They lost to Germany 3-0. All right, that's good as well. That happens. Lost to Czech Republic 3-1. They played 3 of the best teams in the world.
That being said, I think that their game was Germany's only win.
Sure.
In this competition.
Germany have been...
On paper, Germany are one of the best teams in the world. In practice with the global games, not so much.
And Germany need Croatia to win this as much as anybody do to give themselves any sort of chance of going through. Otherwise, it just becomes too many teams can get above them.
Yeah. It's a hard time. It's a hard time for Croatia. Belarus, in with a little bit more chance to win the competition.
Very much.
But they want to win this series really
If
bad.
Belarus win this series, they are fantastically positioned to get through to the next round. Not even just slightly good. Yeah, and I do like that background. It is definitely cool.
It's the arrows, the white or blue arrows.
Yeah, they're the ones out of the competition this way.
Yeah, right, okay.
They need to win this game to avoid going through that door.
Exit here. Tvist says he's not much of a ladder player.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He says that he doesn't enjoy playing the ladder that much. He doesn't think he's very good at it. What he loves doing is analyzing data, analyzing the tournaments, preparing for tournaments. That's where he believes that he is most at home.
Right, and that's what Firebat did back when he won the World Championship. He analysed everybody's potential lineups. He analysed the whole metagame on spreadsheets and went, these are the decks I'm going to bring, and let maths take its course. I mean, he's a great player as well, but he'll freely admit that the way he won it was all through numbers and analysis.
Right. Looks like as we go into the game, it's going to be a Discover Mage mirror match. We've seen a lot more Discover Mage than I expected over the last
I didn't think we would see much at all, and yeah, it's been here a lot today. Discover Mage mirror match is like something from week 1. Can we remember how this works?
No.
So
we had one Discover Mage mirror match earlier today. And it was won by an Eater of Secrets.
that was right at the start of the day, right?
So I don't think that's how it usually works. What else was going on in that game, though? One team had a pretty good chance because they had 3 ice blocks. I think that was an advantage.
That is definitely an advantage. And getting the mana worm, making your opponent use their resources inefficiently is a thing.
But the other team had played Medivh, they had a full board, and they had a defensive Alexstrasza ready to go when necessary.
Now, Croatia have chosen, they're trying to get the burn going. They've kept Alexstrasza in their opening hand here. So their take on it is, Alexstrasza face, hit you in the face with that Pyroblast.
Then Pyroblast face. Raven would tell you that Primordial Glyph gives you Pyroblast, which you then use after the Alexstrasza. The only problem with keeping the Alexstrasza, where this gets a little bit messy, is that Mana Worm is probably going to want to hit the face. But every little bit of damage done to the face is sort of irrelevant before the Alexstrasza gets played.
It is in terms of actual damage that's going to stick, as far as you know. Thing is, because your opponents don't know it, they have to use their cards to kill your Mana Worm. Now, as it turns out, that's going to be pretty easy on this occasion. But sometimes by forcing things through, you can make your opponents use their minions, their cards really badly.
I wonder, because Lavec is in this position where he doesn't need to deal face damage right now, maybe he plays Coin, Arcane Intellect, and trades. Maybe he plays Glyph and hopes to get a cheap spell, maybe a secret he can play. Coins out and then trades. Like, maybe there's no need to play the Frostbolt here.
Right.
He considered it, he disagrees. Tell me why now.
One thing that Belarus now don't know is what they're playing against.
Right.
That's definitely a consideration. The play was fine.
That's good.
But also it's just disguised what their deck is. And so Belarus will now very likely think this is a secret mage, the way that was played.
Yeah, very good spot. So obviously the thinking behind the play before is that he could save the Frostbolt and play that after the Alexstrasza. But there's also now a Mana Worm sitting there at full health on the board. And Tvist can't get rid of it.
Yeah, interesting. They're playing Counterspell as well. The way that Secret Mage and Discover Mage are sort of entwining over
The
time.
overlap, man. It's too much.
It's becoming kind of interesting very difficult to predict what is going to happen.
Yeah. It's a bit of a secret what the techs are in this deck. Secret
Wow.
techs.
I get it.
I'm sorry. I haven't learned how to do them quite the way that you have yet.
It's just I ignore them like you do. It's fine.
Yeah.
When you get to my age, Dan, you just have no shame left. So you just say them and move on with your life. Too many secrets, not enough stuff to do is basically the dilemma here. And Tvist is going to get that ice block down instead of the barrier. We discussed this earlier when it was more obvious, but this ice block will be there for the entire game, which means that cards like Medivh's Valet will no longer need activating for the whole game. And that in turn means it's just less of a problem when you draw it and you want to play it.
In many cases, it's actually only Medivh's Valet. We've seen a
Yeah.
few avian watches
Yeah, but not many of them.
and things like that, but it seems to just be Medivh's Valet that the secrets are activating.
Yeah, that's it.
Of course, the counter-argument is it won't be there all game if there's an Eater of Secrets.
Eater of Secrets. You've got to be a special sort of thinking ahead.
Well, they won.
That's why I said thinking ahead rather than something bad. All right, this Mana Worm is starting to become a pest.
It was Hong Kong with the Eater of Secrets.
Against Hungary?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hong Kong won. So.
That was a long time ago. Cabal Korea could renounce some darkness. Crystal Runner. Who says the secrets activate nothing else?
All right, that's a very
4
good
mana
point.
5/5s.
It's going to be less than that. Like next turn, Belarus can just drop Counterspell and play it, right?
Nice. That's the sort of Crystal Runner you want.
2 mana 5/5. Yeah, I agree.
Fetch those crystals. Go get them now.
Levesque, though, able to play both Arcanologists this turn, which seems good. George C. struggled with his Freeze Mage earlier because he was not able to pick up an Ice Block. Both of his Arcanologists picked up Ice Barrier. Levesque's not having the same problem.
Yeah, he can block for days. That's going to be relevant in this because it looks, after Alexstrasza keep, like they're going to be able at some point to start exerting a lot of pressure. And it's great when you have the ice block up and you can ignore the counter pressure coming from your opponents. You can just concentrate on the damage you are dealing to them. I know they've got Pyroblast in hand, but they are struggling a little bit for damage. But they've got 8 more turns or 7 more turns to pick that up.
Primordial Glyph.
Bit of an early glyph, so you're going to need to project ahead. What would you want? The Polymorph to get rid of potential Medivh,
Oh, it's
potential
hard.
Antonidas, or Fireball to get rid of potential Face?
Get rid of face. Yeah, I think it's probably Fireball. Like, he's got a Polymorph in hand. Typically only have to rely on one Polymorph. One problem, though. What were we saying about Alexstrasza earlier? Bearing in mind he kept this in his opening hand. It's not going to do all that much this game.
It's not, but I think the view is that if the Alexstrasza doesn't do much because they're on 15 already,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, sure.
And that might be what they're thinking.
And again, in the game of Ice Blocks that we experienced earlier before Eater of Secrets came along and ruined it all, defensive Alexstrazzas can actually get you out of a tough spot. If they've used up all their burn to pop your Ice Block several times, especially, so if they're not able to pop the Ice Block at 1 the first time, then often they're going to have to use more burn than necessary every single time they pop it.
Right.
And then if they've used up all their burn, then got you down to 1, then you can defensive Alex.
Yeah, it's like healing for 24 or something crazy.
That's the winning position to be in, yeah. So Alexstrasza is still not totally useless, but not not useful in the conventional sense.
Yeah, and Belarus have a whole load of nothing going on here. I think they should play this Crystal Runner. I was saying earlier when I was with Daskin that Crystal Runner, it doesn't matter. The casting cost doesn't matter. If you can play it, the earlier it comes down, the more effective it is.
Right.
It's just not effective enough as a 0 mana 5/5 on turn 8 or 9. And so you'd much rather have it just on the board. But this was a nice, simple clear, so I can see why they waited.
Right.
So this is where you start assigning jobs to your cards. Flame Strike is obvious. The Ooze will deal with the Medivh weapon.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious too, right?
Coin will become apparent when it is needed, as will all the burn spells, as will the Ice Block, as will the Polymorph. There isn't a play that they want to make here. So they have to decide, do we want to test for Counterspell, maybe with a coin? And do we mind Alex not being played? Do we want to actually just do a little bit of damage to face now in ready, or do we just want to pass? Passing seems pretty bleak.
Gentle reminder for anyone watching back home. The Cabal Crystal Runner into Vista's hand came from Cabal Courier. This looks like a Secret Mage, but it's not. It's a Discover Mage disguised as a Secret Mage. Because if you've just tuned in now, you won't know that came from a Cabal Courier, which is why I'm reminding. Counterspell is in the deck, but Counterspell started creeping into some of these Discover Mages.
A Mana Worm. Okay, so that's a card that is actually going to get immediately played, probably alongside the Crystal Runner. I guess the other option is to just portal a face, but I feel that Belarus will just play the 2 minions down. They have to spend their time this turn. I think they probably know almost exactly what they're going to do themselves. They need to sit there and go, our opponent's last turn, they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
What is going on? Why would they Frostbolt face? How dangerous is that? How much damage have they got in hand? What's going on? Why have they done this?
Yeah.
And can they work out their opponent's hand because of it?
Again, someone on the team someone's job will probably be to track the hand. They'll know that a card that Levesque kept in his opening hand, they'll know that that's still there.
Yeah, that will be puzzling to them, right?
Pre-Mulligan, still in the hand.
So Mana Worm is going to help a little bit this turn. It's going to be interesting to see if they decide to Polymorph or Fireball the runner. I imagine they will Fireball it, but Polymorph doesn't... There aren't many things that Polymorph can kill that Fireball Ping can't.
So Polymorph's really good after Medivh, but that doesn't really matter for Levesque because he has the Gluttonous Ooze to deal with that. So he's only going to need to deal with one minion when Medivh comes out, and that's Medivh himself.
And you can't Polymorph a face unless you play Jiraxxus.
No, even then, you can't actually Polymorph the face.
So...
What to do?
And slowly but surely, and surprisingly in a way, Croatia are winning the value battle as well. So they can afford to Fireball this.
I mean, yeah, just looking at hand sizes, we're at 9 hands for Croatia, 8 after the Mana Worm gets played, versus 5 for Belarus. And obviously, there's the coin, that's in Croatia's hand, that doesn't really count as value, unless there's an Antonidas in there, in which case I think I've seen everything.
I think one of the options there was to do nothing, just ping the runner and save the Flame Strike and maybe play your Mana Worm.
Okay.
But they know, as well as Belarus know, that last turn they did nothing.
Right.
And so that's the world's easiest Flame Strike read, so you might as well just kill it now.
Sure. The Ice Barrier, just to mention, going down onto Vista's side, timed pretty well. Now that his health is at around 16, gaining armor doesn't do anything to help the Alexstrasza. Like, you gain armor, and Alexstrasza will still go off, and you'll still have the 8 armor plus the 20 plus the 50.
That's a good spot. Frostwolf stand ready indeed. 6 damage available on board. Not enough to mount a threat with these hands at the moment.
Cabal Courier.
Cabal Courier, absolutely the card they would want right now. They need to find something to play alongside it, I think.
They did wonders for Tvist by picking him up the Cabal Crystal Runner.
Yeah, that kept them in this game to some extent, and that seems to be the main function in the deck, is to fill that void between turns 5, 6, 7. With anything you can, like something like a Yeti or something.
This selection, Pyroblast, Frostbolt, Ice Block. Ha! I don't even know which one you take. I'm glad you're not Raven right now.
I'm always Raven. What... I think you take the Ice Block, but maybe you take the Pyroblast.
I think you take the Ice Block too, though I'm not sure.
Because the game You've got so little damage in your hand, though. Maybe you need the Pyroblast. Maybe they feel the need to catch up, but...
They've already got an Ice Block on the board and one in hand. Maybe they don't need the Ice Block.
It does sometimes come down to ping you ping you,
It does.
ping you,
That's
you
the
ping you.
problem.
And whoever has the most Ice Blocks can win. But they are a little bit behind in damage. They still only have that 6 damage in hand.
But without picking up more damage, maybe they don't get to the position where they are able to just ping their opponent.
It's not Frostbolt, right? It's just, even though it's the most efficient card of the 3, that's not the answer right now.
It's a hard choice. Going to pick up the 8-mana Pyroblast. Raven wins again.
Again?
They want to pick up an Alexstrasza immediately. Okay. Levesque seems like he's in a pretty good position to me. He's got Alexstrasza that he can use defensively later. He's able to Pyroblast.
Well, he's going to coin, try to Pyroblast face, see if there's a counterspell or not.
Yeah.
And if there isn't, then he's got to make a decision. That's what he's thinking now. He's thinking, what happens if the coin gets countered? And the answer probably is you play Cabal Courier and Fireball some faces.
Right.
But he's just making sure he's not about to do something really silly. And again, Croatia, despite being 0-3, you can see from how they're reacting here how much this still means to them and how much they want to get their names on the board here.
Just by the fact that they've met up together, gone to this location,
I agree.
shows how much they care. And this is it. They're going to, it looks like, it's starting to look like they're going to get their first win on the board. Dvist not out of the running just yet. Though he needs to do a lot and soon to catch up. He needs to pick up Alexstrasza, even if just to use it defensively.
Yeah, really struggling now, Twist, and needs to find a way to generate pressure and needs to find it quickly, and that might just mean Fireland's portaling face just to get a minion on the board because they've just got no pressure. And the lack of pressure is killing them. It's allowing Croatia to spend all this time just smashing face with a Pyro for no reason.
Right.
They've got 2 Fireballs in their hand. They haven't even had to play their Alexstrasza. All game, Belarus, apart from that one Crystal Runner, have just sat there and let Croatia hit them in the face at any means necessary.
Yeah.
And Croatia have just had the value advantage all the way through. Yeah, they're going to try and generate some minion pressure now.
Okay, Knuckles, not horrible. It's not quite a Doom Guard, but it's not horrible. Another Cabal Courier.
Yeah, go check first to make sure that the secret is the counterspell they're expecting.
A lot of crystals, fresh from Kazakus. Curious Glimmerroot might actually be the pick here. I think it is the pick.
Solia's interesting as well. I make my 5/5 and Fireball you, but I think... I don't know what I think.
I don't know that the minion presence is necessary. Self-Fire could be good just for... when both Fireballs are gone.
Soulfire is actually really good here because you Fireball face, it gets countered, and then you ping face and Fireball face. Is there enough mana for that? There is not. Okay, so he's going for Glimmer. Okay. I was just thinking that the numbers worked out. But they needed 1 more mana for my play, which would be to counter it, get them down to 5, then Soulfire ping next turn.
I think now Levesque needs to play both Fireballs, but it doesn't feel good popping that block at 6. This is the problem I was talking about earlier, where it's going to take more burn to pop that ice block again. Maybe he's thinking he can find that burn from the Glimmerroot.
Right, remember that is not a Discover effect.
No,
before one of us does, and it would be me. It looks like a Discover effect. You get offered all sorts of burn options and take them, and they're not in the deck. And it's like, oh yeah.
I'll tell you what though, Cabal Courier is a Discover effect, and that also gives Levesque an extra chance to pick up burn. I wonder which one he plays first. The Glimmerroot or the Courier?
I would imagine the Glimmerroot's much more likely to find burn.
I agree.
It's got to be something like 6 burn spells in the deck and 30 cards, so you're 1 in 5.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but Glimmerroot... Oh, you look worried about this question.
I don't like... Yeah.
Glimmerroot doesn't just take from your opponent's remaining deck, it takes from your opponent's original deck.
I believe that is the case. Yeah.
So even though, like Pyroblast, even if Pyroblast's been picked up, even if Fireballs are both gone, it wouldn't matter. It still started in the deck.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. It can definitely, it definitely does work like that. In fact,
which means that it can also grab Ice Block, even though both of those have been picked up.
Yeah. Right, Knuckles doing Knuckles things. Does its damage to the minion and to the face afterwards. For those who haven't seen the card, as it's not played very often.
It's played often from Fireland's portals.
Golden Knuckles, just a wrestling favourite.
With himself.
Brass Knuckles.
It's
just an upgrade from Brass Knuckles.
All right, well, Croatia... Oh, no, I thought he was disagreeing with us. Oh, Oh,
It's got to be close because the Cabal Courier does give you 3 shots at it, but
Cabal Courier can give you like Mind Blast, for example, as well. That's an ice barrier. This is where we get it wrong. I know we've seen an ice barrier, so I know it's an ice barrier.
I'm just thinking, which one would I like out of those 3 cards? Yeah. But that's not how it works.
No good either.
Doom's good, though. It's not good now, but next turn you clear the board and you draw your lethal.
Yep, that's true.
Just going to make sure you don't actually fatigue yourself. But it seems like Doom would work. Meteor's just going to clear up.
Gonna take a few turns to get there, though, and there is another ice block up now, so... And there's still an ice barrier, so the minion damage means nothing.
I don't know how Croatia haven't won this, but that counterspell on the turn where they didn't actually use both fireballs, and they could have.
It's popping the block at 6 as well.
Yeah.
That's a problem, because now he has to pop the block again with the
And he's
health
not
already.
getting the pings. If he gets the pings in, then Frostbolts become viable. Medivh's Valets become viable. But if you're not getting the pings in, then getting the extra 6 when you've used 2 fireballs is not going to be easy.
That Alexstrasza that Levesque held onto, that Tvist knows he's still holding onto right from the beginning.
Yeah, somebody's probably worked that out by now. It's like, what could it possibly be? And it's got to come down to, I guess they kept an Alex then. Unless it's a second ice block and they maybe...
Interesting that Tvist decided to proc the ice barrier there, obviously deciding he can get more than 8 minion damage in. Or is he... Wait, no. No, he's trying to pop the ice block at 1. That's what he's trying to do.
He also doesn't know if it's a counterspell or not. He knows he comes out of his deck, but it could have been... They're playing counterspell.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course. Good point.
All right, so loads of damage to face.
Not quite going to pop the block, though. That's a shame.
Both these teams struggling to proc the blocks.
Tvist has got Levesque lower, though, than...
Yeah, 1 being the key number, obviously, here.
Wait, is it defensive Alexstrasza time? No, it's not. Okay.
No, they're okay.
These cards just aren't good enough.
Well, Greater Arcane Missiles might be. So, going to take down...
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll do it, right. That's a guaranteed
That's
pop
actually guaranteed, nice.
at 3, which still isn't good enough for you to guarantee the pop again next turn. The advantage that Croatia have is that they have an extra ice block and Alexstrasza, so they have time. I think that Croatia, after all of this, are still going to take this. And I think it's going to be partially down to the defensive Alexstrasza. Oh, that'll help. That'll help a lot.
Yeah, because now they can just... Oh, you
Pink,
got
pink first, pink first. Oh my goodness, don't get too excited, Levesque. Oh.
Oh, yeah. He knew it wasn't a block. We didn't.
Okay.
We thought they'd replayed a block.
I was certain they had. Well, Sap casters indeed as Croatia take the series, bringing themselves well and truly back into the competition. I don't know what happened then.
I think we assumed they replayed the next block, and there just wasn't another block to play because they procced it last turn.
They ran out of blocks. Oh,
Anyway, well done to Croatia. Let's not ruin their moment. Croatia getting their first match win. They're winning 3-1, which gives them an outside chance of qualifying possibly. I haven't done the exact maths for maths. I know they're in a bad spot, though. But it helps Germany and it helps the Philippines absolutely huge amounts. Belarus dragged back into that pack as we see their tail of the tape there. The mage versus mage secret things that casters always seem to mess up at the end. We didn't let you down there, guys.
That's what happens when we look lovingly into each other's eyes while casting, Neil.
It is.
We sometimes miss what secret gets played or what Discover is being played.
Good comeback from Croatia there to be 1 match win, a game win and 9 losses. Lose the first game. It must be so demoralising. But like you've been pointing out, they've all met up at the location and are going pretty well, taking a 3-1 win. And at the very worst, they're proving that they are capable at playing this game.
Absolutely. Belarus not out of the running yet either. 1 win, 2 losses. Not a great position to be in, but also not actually as bad as Croatia's position. They don't have as many losses as Croatia just yet. They still have more of a chance at qualifying. I believe we have an interview coming up with Levesque. So, hey, Matt, can you hear me?
Yes, hi guys, I can hear you.
Congratulations for your win. First thing I actually want to ask you is, where are you right now? That location looks awesome.
Well, we are in a Hangar 18 gaming arena.
Right.
This is the arena for our LAN events here in Croatia, and yeah, it looks pretty awesome.
It must feel great, obviously, to get your first win. When you went 1-0 down, did you think, oh no, not again?
Well, no, we are very focused and we believe that we can win. I know we're all good players. We had a rough start into this KGG, but we step up and we take our first win and we're very happy about it.
Awesome.
So, how are you feeling coming into the series today? Because obviously, you're not in a great position yet. It's still possible for you to qualify, but it depends on a lot of other factors. How did you feel coming in? Were you demoralized or were you ready to try harder than ever before?
Well, we weren't demoralized. We were like, let's just try and let's try to win 3-0 because we knew that we have a chance to qualify further. And we were like relaxed more than the games before. And yeah, we just went in and we were like, okay, guys, let's take our win and take our chances.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy your moment. Go and celebrate your victory. Thanks for your time.
Thank you a lot, guys.
Good luck,
you.
Peter.
Excellent to see it, yeah. And also there is the thing there that nobody's going to say out loud amongst their own teams, but if there's HCG again next year, for instance, all this experience will be absolutely huge as well. And of course, their own HCT performances, all these different things, definitely worth getting together and keep themselves going. I'm sure they'll be partying tonight over there in Croatia.
They definitely looked like they were enjoying their moment in their fantastic-looking gaming arena that they are hanging
You'll be
out
off
in.
there tomorrow, won't you now?
Yeah, I'm going to just go catch the next flight.
Look at what we've been talking about in this group, Ukraine, Czech Republic, running away with it. And I think that may mean that those guys are actually through now. Ukraine play Czech Republic tomorrow.
Ooh.
Don't miss that one.
Winner of the group. Let's see what
Exactly.
happens.
And the other 4 teams, look at them fighting it out there. But Philippines and Belarus seem to be holding all the cards there as they've got 2 games left. Germany and Croatia only having 1 each.
Definitely not a closed group just yet. Those bottom 4 teams have got everything to fight for. Very, very close across the board. Again, apart from the winner of the group, who I guess we're going to find out tomorrow.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing that one. Whoever wins that one tomorrow will be almost certain to win the group, but not entirely certain. Going on to tomorrow, leading in nicely. First matchup will be Belgium versus Kazakhstan. Neyman there will be trying to lead Kazakhstan to their first victory.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to do that, hopefully inspired by Croatia's performance today. After that, it's going to be Chile versus Norway, followed by Czech Republic versus Ukraine, Peru versus Romania, who also are going to be wanting to
We have
get their first
RDU, who's just made it to the Spring Championships.
So-
well done to him. Maybe he'll be buoying up the team there. I know he's had the players around his house a lot of the time just to keep the team spirit.
feeling stronger than ever going into that
And
one.
finishing off with Mexico and Turkey, which doesn't sound like a blockbuster, but Mexico are 2-1 and Turkey are 2-0. So that's actually a top of the table match to finish out tomorrow. So stay tuned for all of those. But I think we can both agree Ukraine versus the Czech Republic is going to be the big one.
That's the one to watch. I guess a lot of people just looking at the lineup are going to assume that Ukraine are the top team there. But Czech Republic, we've been very impressed with their performance so far. I can't wait to see who comes out on top there.
Yep, well, that's us done for today, at least. Hope you've enjoyed those matches. Good smattering of surprises and results that were expected. Be more of that tomorrow when we find out the big winners from Czech Republic and Ukraine. Hope to see you then. Till then, good night.